442. Hilchos Sotah yesh b'chol shalosh mitzvahs. The laws of Sotah encapsulate 3 mitzvahs, incorporate 3 mitzvahs. Achas, which I say 1 positive mitzvah. Let's say 2 negative mitzvahs. They're brought in Aleph. Last is Sotah to do the whole procedure of the jealousy concern. Aknois means jealousy or warning. In this case, it's a warning based on jealousy. Part of the kavanah just to be a carbon, a meal offering, or a carbon mincha. You now put oil upon it. Gimel shleitin levay, not to put frankincense upon it, even though normally not to put it on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In other words, the Rambam puts those mitzvahs over here in these halachas as opposed to typical karbanos. He holds it's relevant to Hilchos Sotah more than the karbanos. All right. Perek Rishon Aleph. Right. Kinah b'teira, the warning or the jealousy warning. The word kinah means jealousy or warning. It means it means both. All the Torah describes he will warn his wife. In Parshas, this is in Parshas Nasi, I believe. What it means is exactly, he has to tell her in front of Eidim, do not conceal yourself with this individual in a place where you can't be seen. Even if it was her father, her brother, or a guy, or a slave, or somebody who is impotent, another person who can't have an erection, he can't bear children. Still, the halach is any man, any human male that he says to her, don't hide yourself with him. That warning is effective.
Even by a father, right?
Yeah.
But that's still on the husband's part because it's a asura. But no, if you're going to say that by a regular person, no, you can be.
1 second. First, we're talking about what the theoretical warning is. Whether it makes sense for the husband to give it to her, that's up to him.
How can your wife seclude yourself with your father?
That's right.
No. If he tells them,
it's still on the husband's part.
Yeah.
Why?
Where is it also? Where is the issue of that I'm not allowed to be with my daughter?
Where is the issue? You can't be with anybody in that Torah. There's no issue of yichud in that Torah.
If a person is not married and he's we know that something can happen over there. But
there's no issue of yichud in that Torah.
David Melch instituted it. No.
Different levels. If it, with a Jewish woman, yeah, and no, with a guy.
No,
a non-Jewish woman, and then later on with a Jewish woman that was later on. Yeah, there was, but different levels. Sorry, what was your question?
No, the question is like the same thing you said. How about your father and mother? How
the only
for whatever reason.
It doesn't mean she's not allowed. If the husband decides he gets
no, of course she's allowed to seclude herself with her father or brother or any other man for that matter. Not Torah.
No, because then the waters are going to work. If she's set to be secluded with her father, the waters are going to work.
The water works if she was cohabiting with somebody.
A husband has the right to warn her, don't be with your father. That's his right.
Yeah.
Should he do it? Not necessarily. But
so, in other words, if he's suspicious of something, now if it'll work, if she's
that's right. We're discussing. He wants to make a Sotah out of her because of the fact that she secluded herself with her father.
If he's suspicious of something inappropriate happening, he has the right to warn her, don't seclude yourself with this person, any person. Halacha base.
We're not saying that.
You know what? Unfortunately, it could be some places, could be sometimes, and if something happened between them, the water will work. I'm trying to remember if the husband's already if the potential man, the adulterer, is already usher beforehand for Isser Kares, Isser Chiv Misa. Yeah, I think it still work. I think it would work. I believe so. Yeah. Base. Hasira B'Torah, when the terrorist says seclusions. I wasn't expecting that first one to take that long. Hasira B'Torah, when terrorist says seclusion, Nisra, she will seclude herself.
Why does it make sense? If the man can't have relations, it makes sense. That also makes sense. Also doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That. Okay. So Hasira B'Torah, when terrorist says seclusion, Nisra, she secluded herself. What is seclusion exactly? How far do they have to be? What is who should she secludes herself with that person with whom he told her not to. But there's 2 witnesses that testify to the fact. 2 kosher witnesses, as we'll see. If she waits and how long? If she waits the amount of time it takes to become tameh, the amount of time it takes to roast an egg and swallow it, which I think is like less than a minute. I think so. I think it says elsewhere. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure that's what it says. That no, right. So it's not the same exact shear. Because over there,
as a man, 12 different.
Right. This is the maskana. Okay, so I think that's what it is. She becomes also on her husband to be with him physically from that moment forward until she's on probation, until she drinks from the Sotah waters. And the matter is clarified. If she drinks it, then and she's guilty, she passes away, as we'll see. And if not, she survives. Presumably, there's exceptions, but that's usually what happens. With non-change, if there's no Sotah waters like nowadays, what do you do then? How do you clarify? You don't. It's also she becomes also forever, indefinitely, until the base should be built. It tastes like suba, and she goes out like suba. Yeah, absolutely. That's why that's if you do if a person says that. Yeah, so it says you shouldn't do it because if she secludes herself, even if you trust her, nothing happened, you can't be with her anymore until right, correct, or until you or if you know she secluded herself even though no one saw, it's still a problem. We'll see you soon. Gimel. Yeah, because you can't force her to drink the waters, but you could force her to become usher on her husband. We'll see you soon. Gimel. If he warns her regarding two men at the same time, and he says to her, "I'll take you plenty uplani." He says, "Don't hide yourself with Reuven or Shimon, or with Reuven and Shimon." He means don't hide yourself with Reuven and Shimon in the same place. One or the other maybe is okay, but together not. She violates that exact warning. She secludes herself with those two people for that amount of time. Even if it's two brothers or a father and a brother, again, she's also until she drinks the same principle. So the husband has the right to give her to add people to the Sotah warning. But then again, only if she secludes herself with both those people. If it's only one or the other, she's not usher.
If he tells her she can never go to the house or something,
yeah,
that's he can't do that.
That's not reasonable. Exactly. Here it's seclusion. So they're there. No one else is there. Dalit. If he tells her in front of two people, not over here. Not there. Dalit. If he tells her in front of two people. Sometimes it's very helpful to have the conversation as the way they would have had it in the midbar, like before the Rabbanon came, just to understand like what's like. If he tells in front of two people, don't speak with this person, you would think if he says, don't speak with him, for sure don't seclude yourself. No, ain't zakina, that's not considered warning. Even though she secluded herself with this person in front of an Adim and waited the amount of time, she's not us on her husband. She doesn't have to drink with this warning because even though she secluded herself, when he obviously was unpleased with her being associated with him, she has to warn him a fair warning. Don't seclude yourself. Hey, if he tells her, don't seclude yourself with him, but they start speaking with him. That's not called seclusion. She's not us on her husband. She doesn't have to drink. Similarly, if he didn't warn her, and people say, "Hey, we saw your wife go into the closed door behind this person and wait for more than this amount of time." She's not us on her husband. She's not required to drink because there was no warning. Vav. We're talking about for the most part the same thing. Vav. If he says to don't hide yourself with this person, but he was less than 9 years old, told her, don't hide yourself with this animal. That's not considered a warning. Therefore, even if she secludes herself with the animal or with the child, she's not us on her husband. It says, a man lied with her. If a man, this excludes a child who's not a man, he's a child. Or an animal. And they do not forbid her on her husband. If the husband says to her, you know what? I lost my cool. I trust you, and therefore you can. I retract my warning before she secludes herself. Then the warning is machol. It's as if he never warned her, and therefore if she secludes herself, she doesn't have to drink. Once she secludes herself, then he says, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. I know I trust her. Because at that point, it's not about his opinion. The Torah says that she has to drink. Apparently, this is a Sichos Hey where it said Daled. I didn't look this up, but that's where apparently this comes from. This explanation. Gershon divorces her after she secludes herself. Before she secludes herself. It says if he forgave her for, it's if he retracted his warning. If he remarries her, he has to warn her again. It's not like I warned you last time not to seclude yourself with this guy. Doesn't count. The new marriage requires a new warning. Again, if she's already secluded herself, it's too late. I'm talking about before she secluded herself. Ches. If he warns her of two people, and then the husband sees her secluding herself with that person, two men waiting that amount of time, even though there's no witnesses except for the husband himself, and he's just her love, she's also on him. The 18th, if he has to divorce her because he's not allowed to be with her, however, he has to pay her ksuba. Presumably, she claims she's innocent. Therefore, he has to pay the ksuba because he has no raya that anything that she did that makes her deserve to lose a ksuba. But since he knows that she's secluded herself, she's also on him, and he has to. No, over here we're talking about where the husband sees her and he knows that she's secluded herself. He has now, right? And he warned her already. There was witnesses that he warned her. But over here, if he knows she transgressed the warning, he's forbidden to be with his wife now, and therefore he has to divorce her. And just like if he knew for sure that she was unfaithful, he has to divorce her. So over here, where he knows that she did something as serious as this after being warned, it's grounds for assuming she was unfaithful. He has to divorce her. Now, why didn't you say let her drink the waters and determine if she's innocent? No, we don't let her drink the waters if there's no aid that she secluded herself. Therefore, he has to divorce her. You can't clarify it. Similarly, if after he warns her and tells her not to seclude herself, the rumors are flying around that she did. Excuse me. If after and she
now he doesn't have anybody witnesses. However, everyone's talking about her.
No, but here there's also apparently a verified seclusion. In other words, over here we have witnesses he warned her, witnesses that she secluded herself, and he now wants to make an appointment for her to drink the Sotah waters. He's waiting for his appointment. However, while he's waiting for the Sotah water appointment, the people, the women who are the Yantis exactly who spin wool by the moonlight or twine flax by the moonlight. Yeah. That they're saying that everyone knows she was Mizana. This whole thing is a joke. He's not allowed to keep her. The age of the Ksuba, he has to divorce her because the assumption is that she was Mizana since it's such public knowledge. And once it becomes such an accepted rumor, the water becomes ineffective. Therefore,
there were witnesses to the stira. Doesn't say that.
If there's no witnesses to the stira and he knows she secluded herself, he's
talking about no. That's the first part. And now this part, this is he warned her in front of witnesses, and now everybody in town said we didn't actually see, but we know.
No, but she also has to be a verified stira. He says, "Acha kiniva stira." V'chenim shamer ha'omer anachareh acha kiniva stira. Ad. The next one I use ad. Oh, by me it says vastira. Interesting. Okay.
That's why we have.
Aha. Interesting.
How
Interesting.
did you do it?
If the hut, right.
No,
It's a different din. It's a different din.
If the husband warns her not to seclude herself with Chaim Yankel, she should not go with Chaim Yankel to an elevator. Correct. You know, Ches, not alone, right? Ches. Sorry, Tess. Thank you. That's actually something. But you doesn't say vastira. It just says vakinoi. Interesting. Okay.
What if there's a video camera?
Okay.
Outside?
Tess. So it's like, so according to you, you're saying he warned her. He didn't. So he warned her, and then either he saw the stira or there's a widespread rumor. Okay, good. Tess. Yeah. Okay, Tess. I'm saying from the Gemara, it would make sense what you're saying. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's been a year already. So I mean, okay. Tess. If one aide comes and says to him, this person you said not to seclude herself, I start to seclude herself with him. If he trusts this witness, he has to divorce her and give a ksuba, because if he believes that she secluded herself, he's not allowed to be with her. But he has to pay the ksuba because he has no right that she did anything wrong. If not, then he doesn't have to believe this one witness. It's up to him. If you trust him, you trust him. If not, you don't. Yud. Who are the women who Bezin warns them? Because the husband.
If two people have to see the stira, or one person.
Right. Maskana, I think we have two for both. Over here, Maskana is two for both. Over here, the one Eidach over here, the verdict is that the husband has the choice of believing him. I mean, if he's an Erlich Yid and he trusts him, he's supposed to divorce her. That's the point. Yud. These are the women who basically warns them because the husband can't. If the husband becomes a deaf mute, he's incapable of determining if she's doing inappropriate things or not. He loses his mind. Right, becomes schizophrenic, for example. So if he's in a different country, or he's locked in jail. So they warn her not to do any of these things she's not supposed to. Not because they can make her drink the water. That the Torah requires the husband giving a warning specifically. If she transgresses the warning, she loses a ksuba.
They have to give her a warning for a specific person.
Presumably, yeah. And they can. The Bezin has the right to warn her b'chalal not to do certain things. But the standard procedure is that they warn her not to warn herself, seclude herself with someone specific. Yeah, and the point over here is to maintain the moral standard of the Jewish people and to protect the husband's interests and Yudalef. Kate, for example, Shabu Beis. Oh, now we'll discuss in detail. If Beis hears that people are rumoring about her with a certain person, gossiping. Thank you. They call it. Someone they say to her, "Al tisri mish plani." Don't speak yourself with this person or people, whoever it is. And Aiden come afterwards and say she did seclude herself. She waited the required time. Bezin declares she's forbidden on her husband forever. Again, not Torah, but they forbid her to her husband. The Karim Subas, they tear Suba, she's not entitled to it anymore. When her husband comes back from overseas, he heals himself, he gets out of jail, he gives her a get. But he's unable to say, listen, let her drink. He can't do that. He didn't warn her, therefore the water's not going to be effective. It's a waste of time. If she drank the bitter waters and she survived, okay, she's obviously innocent. And then the husband warns her again with this person. And again, she secluded herself a second time, strike it too. She cannot drink the second time. Right. Rather, she becomes awesome forever. But takes like suba, she loses suba because it was her deeds that made her lose suba. The Chayda asks why the water will work again. So the answer is because there's possible certain things can happen, and the water becomes ineffective for various reasons. So when it's two times the same person, it's a chance that she actually did something wrong, and because the husband monkeyed around, because there's witnesses who we don't know about their Medis Hayam, all kinds of things that could be potentially happening. I think there's four things, four potential things. If you look carefully, there's three obvious ones and a fourth one. I forgot exactly off the top of my head. The husband did something inappropriate. There's witnesses somewhere that we don't know about. She has schusim, and there's a fourth thing that comes out from the Gemara that could be that she is guilty, but the water won't have the impact. What's the second time we suspect that something happened, therefore we don't let her drink, and therefore she's also on her husband. Avo, if he warns with someone else, a different person, a different man. She secludes herself with that person. She can drink a second time, even many times, as long as each time it's a different person. But who provided provided that it's a different person each time. Yeah, which is funny because if the husband did something wrong, it'll never work for her anyway. So that's obviously so. But point is that the din is that it can be multiple times for the same woman as long as it's different men. You gimel. If he makes her drink the waters because she secluded herself with this person, with Ruvain, and then he divorces her. Then she marries somebody else. And then this new husband also warns her not to seclude herself with Ruvain, same Ruvain. And she secludes herself with witnesses. The second husband could make her drink a second time for the same person. It's a new husband. It's a new chapter. Even 100 husbands. And she gets married one for the other. They can each make her drink one time the Sotah waters for one person. So potentially, if she has 10 husbands and 10 boyfriends, she can drink the Sotah waters 100 times in Indian. In other words, besides her husband, she has a boyfriend on the side. We don't say we don't say for sure she's obviously becoming with this person unless you have an aid. So the chazak is that she's tahor unless we have the mayim, which proves that she's tamid. And the reason for that, even with the same person each time, but it could be that even though she's not acting appropriately, lav daf she was mezana, and the husband is too quick to judge. Again, it's not appropriate, but obviously to seclude herself in the first place, which is what Chama asked it. Now, it's not an issue. You doubt it. The isha she can a woman who her husband warns her. Then she secludes herself after being warned with Edim, and Edim see it. I mean, she's ready to drink. And one aide rides up on a horse and he says, he testifies that she actually was guilty with this person, whether it's in that seclusion episode or a different time. She's also a husband forever. I may have been incorrect, and maybe he has to testify was at that episode. In any event, she's also a husband forever. But she doesn't drink. If he hates like suba, she goes out like suba, because since even if the aide who's saying that she became tummy is one of the two aidim who saw her seclude herself, she's also her husband. It says there's no witness, which is why you have to drink the Sotah waters. There is an aid. That's the first half of Sotah, right? So because over here we have a very strong suspicion that something happened, we trust one aide to say something did happen because he warned not to seclude herself. She went and secluded herself, and then one aide says she was guilty. We assume he's telling the truth. This is an exception because since we have a very strong precedent, a very strong a reason to assume that she's guilty, so we trust one aide.
And he's looking at the window.
So good kasha, because what is the gather of, if there's a window, is it considered stira? So I don't have to answer that question. What is the
Normally
gather?
we just say if he warns her and she went with that person for the amount of time that was stira, that's sufficient.
So Shiloh is what's the gather of stira? If the one witness could see, it's not considered. Okay, no, I'm sorry. If the one witness says he saw she was mizana, we don't care if there's a window or not. However, he saw. The question is, what's the gather of stira? If they went to a house but there's windows, I mean, so the question is, if there's any location where it's impossible to see from all fields 60 degrees, that's a chayr considered stira. Within reason, I mean, you say, if there's a ladder, I could see, but there's no ladder there. So, okay, all right. Tezvav. Even a woman or a slave or a maidservant is someone who's possible for edus because he did not avera, and the chacham passed to him. For example, he's a gambler, or he's not careful the second day of Yontif. So it's in the Rabbanon. So Vafilu Karev, or he lends ribis with the Rabbanon. Vafilu Karev, even a relative, these are all people normally aren't possible for edus. Neman le'edus Sotah, they're believed to say regarding the Sotah, that she was Mazana in that episode when she secluded herself after being warned not to. That's right, that she was Mazana. Then, yeah, but he also al baila elam, and she becomes also husband forever. Ve'ina sheish, she doesn't get the drink. Even though she says, "Limit, I'll drink. I'll prove my innocence." We don't let her take the ksuba. She goes out, no ksuba. Since she was first warned and she secluded herself, we have an agent to testify to that fact. The Torah believed one aid regarding Tuma, and as we said in the previous halacha, therefore, even a person not on a kosher aid normally is believed over here. Just as you believe one aid as an exception, you believe these people as an exception. Even though the 5 women we said are usually hate each other, they believed, testify with each other that they were to become tamei after Kinyan V'Stira, which is a mother-in-law, a daughter-in-law, a co-wife, a potential co-wife to a yava, a brother's wife, and a stepdaughter. I believe that's the 5. Yeah. So they believe to say she lost on her husband, and she does not get the chance to drink to prove her innocence. They're not believed to make her lose a ksuba. She takes ksuba, she leaves, which is funny. The husband has to divorce her. He doesn't get a choice, but he has to pay the ksuba. He's saying I wanted to drink. She's saying I want to drink, but someone else says that she's guilty. Sorry. One of these possible edus says she's guilty. She gets her ksuba. So a regular kosher eid echad, she leaves the ksuba. When it's these types of psuli edus, they're only believed as far as having to divorce her, not believed as far as the ksuba is concerned. So she cashes down. Test 9. One kosher aid comes and says she became tamei. She can't drink. She can't drink. As we said, one aid comes after and says, no, she did not become tamei. I was there also. She could drink. Don't listen to him. Why? The second aid, he's disregarded. The first aid who says she became tamei regarding the Sotah. Right. He has a status of 2 aidim. The testimony of the second one person doesn't displace the first one person. Just like 2 aidim who said she became tamei, one aid cannot contradict them. So even one aid who said she became tamei, the second aid who comes later on cannot contradict him. Good sign. They both show up at the same time. They both at the same time saying she became tamei. No, she didn't. Yes, she did. No, she didn't. Back and forth. One says she became tamei. And later 2 aidim come and say she did not become tamei, so she gets to drink. She gets to drink because the 2 aids cancels out each other. And we put her back on the status of suffix where drinking clarifies the status. What if one kosher aid comes and says his testimony? And a lot of women or other types of aids come together at one time. The one aid says she became tamei. She doesn't get to drink. And the 2, 3, or 100 women say that she did not become tamei. She gets to drink. She gets to drink. The din is, but not because we believe this latter group over the first aid, but the one kosher aid and 2 or 100 women are half and half. They cancel each other out. So back to original status, we don't know what to do. And drinking clarifies the suffix test. If all the people were pleiadus, you got the majority. Case of example. 2 witnesses say, 2 women, say she became tamei, don't let her drink. 3 say she did not become tamei, let her drink. She gets to drink because you go after the majority. Shalish emes loyet meis 3 say she did not become tummy. The Abba emes lit meis 4 say she did become tummy. Her is English she cannot drink because 4 is more than 3. How you mech it's exactly 50-50, so 10 against 10, for example. Again, it's a suffix. Her is a she drinks because they cancel each other out, and drinking clarifies the suffix. Chaf. Kol say the Shalman anytime we said a Sotah cannot drink because they're Adim or an aid who says she became Tameh, she's also her husband forever. Takes a big suba and she gets divorced without a suba. She became usher by being warned and violating the warning by secluding herself. And the drinking, which would theoretically be mad to her, nimna has been withheld from her. There's a witness saying that she should not be able to drink. So her own deeds put her in this situation, and the aid is the one who says she can't drink, and therefore the only aid is to divorce her, and she doesn't have the ksuba. Commission ban, as we said.
It seems like Cuba was a very important thing.
Yeah.
Today,